Hello, I'm Kerry James, and I serve as the chair of the Conference Board of Pensions and Health Benefits. I am pleased to provide you with this report. My report will focus on the updates from the board that support this year's resolution. But in addition, I want to use this occasion to start our discussion about pending benefit changes that are anticipated over the next couple of years. I also want to highlight two benefit resources that are available to all our conference clergy and laity. One of the resources relates to our personal mental health and the mental health of those around us. The other resource addresses our financial well-being and stewardship. I have personal ties to how these resources have been helpful for both clergy and laity, and I look forward to sharing them with you as part of this presentation. As we get started, please know that this video and slide presentation will be posted online with our annual conference materials for your future reference. Let me start by showing the HealthFlex plan selections table for 2023. We've been sharing this table with you ever since the conference moved to the HealthFlex exchange 6 years ago. The exchange offers our active participants a choice from 6 different medical benefit plans. This provides our clergy with the opportunity to choose a plan that will best satisfy their individual healthcare needs. From this table, we can see that 79% of BWC participants are continuing to select plans with either a health reimbursement arrangement or a health savings account. We believe these accounts provide the most efficient delivery of health benefits for participants and our churches. I can report this year that the high usage of HRA and HSA plans within our conference is helping us to navigate a very turbulent time in the healthcare industry, as costs for delivering healthcare over the last 2 years have risen significantly. As shown on this graph, Westpath is reporting the need to increase the HealthFlex premiums by an average of 11.8% in 2024. This follows the increase in 2023 of 7.8%. Both of these increases were significantly greater than the average premium increases that we observed over the last 10 years, and it brings the average increase to 6% over the last 5 years. The cost drivers for this increase in premium include inflationary labor costs, escalating drug costs, increased utilization of mental health services, the increased utilization of services due to the missed preventive and non-emergency care during the pandemic, and there are also increased costs that deal with the aftermath of the pandemic, as many of the government subsidies are removed from the delivery of healthcare services. Westpath has reported that the high claims in 2021 and 2022 resulted in losses that exceeded 10% of the overall premiums that were collected. To a large degree, the 11.8% increase in 2024 is intended to reset the premiums to cover the level of claims that were observed in those 2 years. The good news on this slide is shown at the bottom. The increase in the BWC premiums will be only 6.8% in 2024 compared to a range of increases at other conferences that range from 6 to 18%. This is a turbulent time in the healthcare industry, and it is clear from these results that the high usage of HRA and HSA plans within our conference is providing the most efficient delivery of healthcare for our participants at a time in which it is most needed. The additional good news that I have to share with you today is that the Board of Pensions is in a position to mitigate the increase to churches and participants by subsidizing a portion of this increase from reserves. That actual increase in the local church rate in 2024 will be 2.8%. As the rate is increased to $915 per month, participant rates will be increased between $7 to $17 per month, and there will be no change in the dental rates. This is unfortunately the second year in a row that we have increased the local church and participant rates after a long period of keeping the rates flat. The monthly church rate increased over the last 2 years from $860 in 2022 to $915 in 2024 is a 6% increase. At this same time, we know that WestPath increased their average premiums for all conferences by nearly 20%, and some conferences far exceeded that increase. The Board of Pensions is grateful to support all clergy in our conference who have chosen a very efficient path for meeting their health care needs. This is also a good time for me to remind everyone that the health benefit selections are scheduled this year for November 1st through 16th. Our next benefit update in this report involves the retiree medical benefit. Similar to last year, the HRA increase in 2024 will be 5% for retirees who use the VIA Benefits program. The 5% increase will set the HRA amount for clergy with 30 years of service at $4,104. The increases in the benefit were 6% in 2022 and 5% in 2023. This string of increases appears to be keeping pace with the increases observed in the retiree medical premiums that are offered by VIA Benefits. We also continue to report that the funded ratio for the retiree medical program continues to stand at 107%, and the next valuation of the program will be performed at the end of this year. At the bottom of this slide, you will once again see the warning that we announce each year during this presentation. It is simply a reminder to all active clergy that opting out of Social Security impacts your BWC benefits. Your eligibility for retiree medical benefits at retirement and disability benefits through the Comprehensive Protection Plan are dependent on clergy participation in Social Security and Medicare throughout your active service within the church. I would ask that any clergy who are considering opting out of Social Security contact the HR Benefits Office or anyone on the Board of Pensions before they take this step that significantly impacts your BWC benefits. My last update is about the benefit arrearages in 2022. The benefit arrearages increased by 8% in 2022, which was down from the 15% increase in 2021. The arrearages for churches and the forbearance process increased by only 4%. These trends continue to be impacted by the financial health of our local churches coming out of the pandemic, but the reduction in the increasing trends is a good sign that churches are either regaining their financial stability or they are adjusting the level of pastoral support and benefits that they are able to afford in the near future. Let me now take some time to introduce a few changes that are expected to be implemented or considered for implementation by WestPath over the next couple of years that will impact our clergy, healthcare, and pension benefits. The first set of changes will be implemented for the HealthFlex program in 2024. More details about these changes will be provided at a training webinar in September. That training will be very important as we enter into the HealthFlex selections in early November. WestPath has been benchmarking other healthcare programs, and they are very excited to be offering participants a concierge support service from Quantum Health starting in January 2024. Quantum Health will be offering advocacy and coordination between participants and the providers. They are considered the best in the industry in providing these types of services, and their focus is to provide intervention into a process before any challenges occur. This Quantum Health Services has received very complimentary reviews from participants who have used them in other church-related healthcare programs. The second change that will impact HealthFlex in 2024 is the moving of our conference's health network from United Healthcare to Blue Cross Blue Shield. This move comes as a direct result of the implementation of the concierge support service because United Healthcare was unwilling to work with Quantum Health. But we also know that Blue Cross Blue Shield has been more competitive over the last several years. In fact, WestPath already had moved most of the annual conferences to Blue Cross Blue Shield. BWC was one of only 7 conferences that remained in United Healthcare, and we have found a very high overlap between the two provider networks as we prepare for this transition. Without a doubt, the transition between networks will be something that we all need to become familiar with in September to fully understand how it impacts each of us. Westpath will once again be providing us with tools and information to help us navigate that change. I also want to take this opportunity to remind us of the clergy pension petition that will be formally addressed by the General Conference in 2024. There is no change to the original petition that was originally planned to be voted on in 2020. The plan is called Compass, and it is proposed to become effective in 2026. Unlike the current CRISP pension plan, Compass will no longer contain a defined benefit component. It will be a 100% defined contribution plan. The plan consists of 3 types of contributions that are made to an individual clergy's pension account. The first payment into this account will be a flat dollar contribution of $150 per month for every pastor who is in the plan. The second contribution is pay dependent, and it is made at the rate of 3% of the pastor's plan compensation that includes their cash salary and their housing allowance. For pastors in a church parsonage, the housing contribution to the plan compensation is proposed to be increased to 35% of cash salary. The third contribution is a matching contribution where up to 4% of a pastor's contribution is matched. To help us understand the impact of these contributions and how they vary based on a pastor's plan compensation, I can show you on this slide the difference between a pastor who is in the plan with a plan compensation of $40,000 compared to a pastor in the plan with a plan compensation of $75,000. Both pastors will receive the same flat dollar contribution of $150 per month for a total of $1,800 for the year. The pay-dependent contribution of 3% is shown on the second line, and the third line assumes that a pastor contributes a full 4% to optimize the match. In this case, the pastor with a $40,000 plan compensation will receive $4,600 into their Compass account, in addition to any contributions they have added. In comparison, the pastor with a $75,000 plan compensation will receive $7,050 into their Compass account. The percentage of the received contributions is different because of the impact of the flat dollar contribution. 11.5% is the value of the contributions for the lower paid pastor, and 9.4% is the contribution for the higher paid pastor. We will have more time to discuss this new clergy pension plan should it be adopted at General Conference. It will not be implemented before January 2026. At this point, I simply thank you for allowing me to refresh our recollection of this petition that will be considered by the General Conference next April. Before I turn to this year's recommendations, I want to remind you of 2 benefit resources that are available to clergy and local church leaders. Once again, I want to let you know that the presentation will be online for your reference, so there is no need to write down the websites that I will be showing you. The first resource is what we call First Aid for Mental Health. This is a no-cost training opportunity for all UMC clergy and their spouses, church leaders, staff, and congregation members. It is an online resource that can be accessed simply by scanning the QR code on this slide. The experts tell us that 1 in 5 Americans experience a mental illness each year. This training is intended to help identify when you or someone you know is struggling with their mental health. It gives us a better understanding of how we can respond with empathy and help ourselves and others to seek help. Many participants have responded that this training enabled them to take action to manage their own mental health challenges. The second resource that I bring to you is called Saving Grace, a guide to financial well-being curriculum. I personally was involved as a presenter in this training that consists of a 6-session video-led series that focuses on personal financial management and goal setting. As I said before, you might recognize some of the presenters in this series. The contributors included folks like Jack Brooks from our Mid-Atlantic United Methodist Foundation, conference benefit officers, CPAs, and even pastors from the BWC like Reverend Tawanda King and me. I am one of the contributing authors of the Saving Grace curriculum, which helps clergy and their congregations put John Wesley's teaching into practice as they move toward reaching their financial goal. Westpath Benefits and Investments and the United Methodist Publishing House, through its publishing arm, Abingdon Press, have released Saving Grace, a guide to financial well-being, a new personal money management curriculum guided by Wesleyan values that seeks to promote financial well-being with clergy and laity. The 6-week program was created through the Clergy Financial Well-Being Initiative, a United Methodist multi-organization effort to assist U.S. clergy with financial well-being from the first steps of discerning God's call to ministry through retirement. One of the testimonials from the lay leader in one of our congregations is that she has been trying to get her granddaughters back in church over the years, but it took the Saving Grace curriculum to get them back in the church. Not only did they come back, they invited their friends too. I have been teaching clergy and congregations the Saving Grace curriculum and recommend it be used in your church in the coming year. I thank you for allowing me to review those resources today, along with the pending benefit changes. I will now conclude our report with the recommendations for which we seek your approval. We're asking for your approval of the Comprehensive Funding Plan. The Comprehensive Funding Plan evaluates the funding status of all conference pension and health benefits plans annually. This is to make sure that we have the funds to meet our commitments to our retirees. We celebrate that all of our funding ratios are greater than 100%, a confirmation that we have appropriate assets already in place to cover the existing liabilities associated with our benefits. We also seek your approval of the following recommendations. Number 1, we ask your approval to continue providing health benefits to retirees. Number 2, we ask your approval to continue providing a pre-1982 surviving spouse benefit at 85% of the participant level. Number 3, we ask your approval to increase the pre-1982 past service rate by 4% to $840 per credited year for pre-1982 pensions paid in 2024. Number 4, the previous slide listed the comprehensive funding plan details that must be approved each year by the annual conference. Number 5, and finally, we ask your approval for the IRS-required resolution on retiree housing allowance. I thank you for your support of the work of the Conference Board of Pensions and Health Benefits. This completes my report, and I appreciate being able to address the annual conference in this way. Thank you.